Guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fine edition of the Chord Podcast. Today, we have just the boys, and this is definitely our first time going through this.
Sad
as you
face.
can tell.
Yeah, obviously.
Why'd you make it sound so weird?
Okay,
We're all
Ben.
alone.
So we have Ben,
Hello.
Anthony,
I don't want to be here today.
I'm Caesar, and we have Daniel to the intro. Okay.
So,
Let's go into updates.
Back with the announcement. So, the Minecraft event went really well today. If you guys haven't gone and go check it out yet, please look up Soar Game Club, all lowercase letters, on Twitch, and you guys will find our stream of the events that we played. We had a really fun mini games on Mineplex. So, yeah. And you guys should also stay tuned later on for those folks who have Bedrock. We will be planning an event for you guys. Wait.
Yes, if you guys don't know, I think Ben is the only person on Earth with just Bedrock.
Leave me alone. I'm sorry.
God.
You heathen.
Oh, well,
A console.
let's go ahead and announce our other event coming up soon. Ben, Daniel, Lima, all of us actually.
The Smash Brothers online pools tourney thing is under development.
Woo.
We need you boys to answer the Instagram. We need you boys to go to the Google Forms. We need the information so we can really make this the best it can be. You know, this is our first online tournament, so this is very experimental. You know, it's not going to be traditional tournament with the brackets. It's going to be more of a counting of how many wins and how many stocks that you had during the whole pools event.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we plan on using these records that you get like after once you play all your games. We're gonna use them for the end of the year tournament that we're planning.
yeah, for seeding. Yeah, and we're planning on posting the seeding out to all of you so you can see where you stand up against your fellow SOAR competitors.
Let's see who's the best.
And see how you can improve.
Exactly. Along with that, on the YouTube page, expect more uploads regarding stream highlights, outtakes, and other things that are involved around the club. Expect that soon. So, let's cut to the chase. We have 3 rather interesting topics today. Let's start with our first one. Video games cause violence. Now, I'm sure you've all seen the CNN clips and the this and the that and the Joe Rogan podcast where people talk about how video games are a direct cause for modern violence. And, you know, no one likes to say the bad words, but a big topic is definitely mass shootings. A lot of people blame video games and the violence around them for mass shootings, which is something that none of us should take lightly or kindly. So what do you guys think on the stance that video games cause violence?
Well, I think that honestly, it's not always as that. I mean, sometimes I get it can be seen as that because there are always gory details in video games. You know, like we've all played Call of Duty, we've seen some stuff, some gory details. But I don't think it exactly leads to violence because I think it's up to the person and up to the mental state of the person playing those video games. Like I think most of us growing up have played video games with violence in them, but we never grew up to be violent people. And most of the time, you see the people who, commit those mass shootings or just do anything violent, and they have mental problems, you know. And I feel like that has something to do with that instead of video game.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of different things. Because obviously, you can't say period. Video games cause mass shootings. If we got rid of video games, world would be utopian. We'd be amazing. Everyone would live in peace, you know. But there's maybe certain people can be influenced, but I feel like just saying that period doesn't make sense because it just doesn't provide everything on the topic. Because there's so much more to what people do. You can be influenced by basically anything, like bullying or any of that stuff.
Right. I mean, me personally, I do think there's a tiny bit of influence, nothing insane. I think at most someone can spark an idea from that. But otherwise, I think there's no relation between violence and video games. You know, for the longest time, since the 80s, we've been enjoying violent video games, you know, starting with Doom. I think Doom was a prime example of one of the most violent and gory video games of our time. Actually, it was Doom and a few other video games that were particularly violent that caused the U.S. government to implement the rating system you see in games now, mature,
Yeah,
K through
the
12.
ASRB started up, and it was also due to Mortal Kombat too, because those sweet fatalities.
Oh, okay. I got the blood sheet in Genesis. But,
Yeah.
you know, since the 90s, we've had a decreased amount of, not mass shootings, of gun deaths, a decreased amount of domestic violence, and decreased amount in general murder in the U.S. and around the world. So, I don't think it's a very fair thing to say that video games cause violence, where I think video games are getting more violent, but we've seen nothing but decreases in general violence around the country.
Yeah. I think it all really comes down to, like, the person. Like, why are we judging these video games that sure might have these, like, gratuitous, like, unnecessarily amount of violence, but we don't judge those people who take, you know, action from it. Instead, we judge the video games, when in reality, it's a human error that is happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, there's movies that have violence in them too. So it's like, we're exposed to a lot of it. Like,
most kids, when they see someone get shot on TV, or they see a whole bunch of polygons that represent a demon get blown up, they know that that's not a thing you're supposed to happen in real life. You know, most kids understand, and most adults understand. It's the ones that don't are the outliers, and they get the most attention and make video games seem like it's a much bigger problem than it actually is.
It's the boomers. Ooh, naughty word. Naughty word. But I think it is, because for a lot of folk, you know, for a lot of people who were born, let's say, in the late 50s, early 60s, you know, their young kids were first exposed to games in the 80s, you know, with the ColecoVision, the Atari, and of course the NES. So, you know, when you have 8-bit, 8-bit blood is nothing, you know, it's those sprites. But as you begin to get more advanced in games with the NES, or the SNES, and the Genesis, you got to see more of that detail and more of that gore. So what you would only be able to see in arcade cabinets was now available in the home. And, you know, I remember reading an article of a person who was testimonying that they caused violence, saying that he recalled his kid, you know, walking into his kid's room and hearing him scream, you know, die, 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 while playing a game. And that behavior, it's just because of the game, you know? It's just because they're having fun, they're enjoying the time, and they're doing what the developer wants them to do, which is to have fun. You know, right now I have Doom on my Switch, and I'm playing it, but I don't feel any more violent, you know? I'm just enjoying the game.
Yeah, that example of die, 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 it's like you're just taking things out of context, you know? You're canceling, you're Twitter canceling people. How dare you? How dare you?
God, I love you some good cancel culture.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Of course. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, of course, like, you know, playing a game like Pokemon or like Animal Crossing, where violence basically is non-existent. Like, obviously,
except for tarantulas, but it's whatever.
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Demons. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to justify saying every single video game can cause violence. I don't think Tetris has ever made me homicidal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sure
Except when I
that?
lose. But that's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't really see the valid argument to it. I mean, I see, you know, like, there is violence in the video games, but it's up to the person playing them to decide, oh, I see a gun in this game, I'm going to do the same thing in real life. You know, it's like, you never see you rarely see those situations, and when you see those situations, it's not the video game's fault, but rather either the person who decided to play the game and learn from what's in the game, or the person who bought the game for them, because at the end it's just on the person who committed the action.
Right, and oftentimes those who do commit these horrible acts are people who are already mentally deficient, mentally strained, or in a way, mentally harmed. So their brain processes actions differently, and it's not the same as almost every typical person.
It's so weird that society throws this scapegoat at this industry, when it's like, all what should really be happening is like a better mental care system. We should be looking at these signs more closely and see them earlier and help treat people so that they can, have a healthy mind.
Right. Yeah, and I think for those people who are in that condition, I do think that violent video games are the best for them, for obvious reasons. But for the average person, like, this is just fun. It's just fun to enjoy it, Like, I enjoy Doom because it's an enjoyable and quick-paced game, not because of the bloody guts and violence.
Mm-hmm. When I was a little goody two-shoe and I was killing Nazi zombies in Call of Duty, it wasn't out of serious malice for the undead, like, white nationalists. It was just for fun. But you have the kid that shows signs that may be violent towards animals or do other things, and you put them in front of a violent video game. Yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
Right.
But it'd be a bad idea to show them, Hannibal Lecter. It'd be a bad idea to show them other media that depicts violent acts. It's so weird that we concentrate into this one industry.
Right. I think like filmography has a much bigger influence than video games do. Because we've all seen a violent film, like.
Yeah.
Even action films are extremely violent and gory, but like with video games.
Not gonna lie, love me some Final Destination.
No.
Not gonna lie.
You have the one kid pretending to be John Wick.
Oh God.
I don't know. I think people with the game industry, they don't put the appreciation you get in the film industry either. Because with a film, let's say even just like trying to save, like trying to restore or trying to like keep a film or a game in good condition. With a film, it's static. It's one thing. It's just there. You got the DVD. You got the flash drive. You can put it on that surface. But with things like games, there's a lot more complexity in how you play it, the appropriate software, the appropriate hardware. Like, preserving games and preserving films are two very different things, but people put them on the same pedestal, I feel like, which isn't the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still don't. I never see the side of the argument on it. I mean, honestly, I a lot of the times I don't play the violent video games, but I watch them, and it's like, I see your point on the filmography. It's more about what you're seeing than rather what you're. Because I feel like it does have a lot to do. I feel like you get more gory details, you get more detail in general on how to commit these acts in films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's in video games, the violence or the bad things that happen all relies on player choice. You can play GTA and abide the law. It's the player choice to go out and beat up pedestrians and to run over stop signs and to do crazy things. It comes down to the player, and it just, as we said before, people take too much focus on the game and not the player.
Right, and I think in recent years there's been like a general shift away from more violent games per se. I think good examples are games like Undertale. That's a wonderful example. Undertale is a good example. Cuphead has a lot of pacifist features now. And in general, first-person shooters are going down in interest and aren't winning as many awards or making as much money as they used to.
The most popular shooter for a long while is still probably Fortnite. and it's like the most cartoony, safe, family-friendly shooter game that you could possibly get.
Right. It's not Modern Warfare.
Yeah, like the industry is showing that it benefits from less violence, honestly.
Yeah, and also more platformers. I've noticed Hollow Knight, Celeste. These incredible games. Shovel Knight's a big one that's been around for a good bit.
Yeah.
It's a good sign of changing times, and while I don't think that they cause violence, it is nice to shift away from this and go to more strategy entailed games and more. Well, yeah.
Yeah. After the COD community, I mean, honestly, the shift just made the game dead.
Oh, COD's gone.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Warzone right now is the only one that I see as action, dude. But the new game that was just released by Riot, dude, it's just completely beaten all the FPS.
Yeah, like who really bought Black Ops 4? Come on.
I
Let's be
honestly
real.
forgot it came out.
Right?
People were playing it, I was like, that game came out?
Black Ops 2 was the last good game I remember, to be honest. Or Ghost actually, and Infinity Warfare had good campaigns. But like, I think when they started shifting towards more multiplayer, a more multiplayer-based shooter game, they kind of screwed up because I think if you look back at Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, they had a great campaign and they also had a really good multiplayer. It's like they had a good balance there, but then they started shifting because they wanted to appease the player base more on multiplayer, and it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Like when I think of COD, I think of the campaign and the local. You my brother, you my friend, in person multiplayer, like Spec Ops missions, that kind of thing. When I think of like online multiplayer, I think of Halo or Battlefield, but not Call of Duty.
Not anymore, at least. They've lost their luster.
Yeah, it's just not what it used to be, and like I've honestly lost interest entirely in Call of Duty. It's no longer like my forte,
I have cravings for it, but it just makes me want to go back and play the old games. Because when I play Warzone, I just hate it so much because God, the player base, like MW2, everyone was out, no one cared because everyone had something that was powerful. And if there was a camper, the whole lobby made sure that camper wasn't going to have a good time. but now, all it is campers. People are afraid. They try to use strategy and other forms of improving the game, but in reality, it just emphasizes camping more and more because people aren't going to spend time actually learning strategy and making good plays. They're going to sit in the corner and have a claymore right in front of the doorway because it works.
Right. I think that's the Fortnite complex. I want to say, because Fortnite's very reliant on on camping and staying away from your opponents.
It's strategy, sure, but with old Call of Duty, it was like no one cared. It was more of an arcade experience. You hop in and keep going and try to get the best score. It's not trying to outplay people.
Yeah, it's good strategy, but it's not Call of Duty.
Yeah, and if the player base was more willing to make cool plays and be more daring and be more competitive about it, that would be really cool. But the COD community is too generic, too general for that.
Right.
Talking about the cool plays, who remembers the 360 no scopes that we all used to drop before? I mean, yeah, honestly, I watched a lot of those clips too. Actually, I think there was a YouTuber that got me into COD. It was Vanos. Because he
I was about to mention Vanos.
Vanos gaming
videos. It was the funniest thing that you could do. The player base was so mature and chill back then that you could troll. And people would still have a laugh about it. People would chill. Now you just troll someone and you get team killed.
And people don't go into voice chat anymore. They're so I don't know. Are they just scared? Or are they just too afraid to show their voice?
That's like part of the fun,
It makes me so sad because lobbies used to be so alive. It's a community. It's your team, But now it's just it feels so empty.
Yeah, it's not as chaotic as it used to be, Like part of the fun of Modern Warfare 2 is going on the voice chat and hearing the chaos.
Dude, one of the best things about Black Ops 1 gun game is just going on and knifing everyone so they get direct to the previous gun. Best thing in the world.
You were that kind of person, weren't you?
Yeah, and I was good at gun game too, so I would kill people all the way to the final weapon and then just knife from there. And then when someone would get close, I would just steal the win. So like you're meant to get like 20 kills, but I would end up with like 50.
Right. But the thing is, like, after the game would end, you wouldn't feel bad. It was like, wow, that was awful. Awesome. Let's play it again.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's the big difference between now and back then.
Yeah.
Like, the sense of unity that, we're all just playing the game. We're all having fun and destroying each other in this game. That's gone.
It's funny that, we're talking about video game violence, but what video games are really most known for is building communities. The amount of things we have done, it's amazing. Bro, we have Cuphead on the Switch. What the heck?
Dude, they gave us Switch Cuphead.
Game on the Switch. There's Doom on the Switch. There's
Bro. I can sign up with my Microsoft account on Minecraft. This is a crazy world, dude.
I know.
And we all did that because we asked for it,
Right.
Exactly. I can play with my PS4 friends on Rocket League. Like, well, how did that happen?
No one takes note of like the big community events, like charity live streams that several Twitch users do,
raising millions of dollars in like hours for charity.
Hours. I was a part of like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the zombies community.
Oh man.
And dude, there was EE4C where they did Easter egg speed runs for all the maps for charity.
Right.
And it was so hype, dude. They got thousands and thousands of dollars. They doubled their goal. Like, the amount of stuff that we've done is so cool. But, instead we take a completely unrelated topic, like mass shootings, and then apply video games to it.
Just because they have, blood. Which, I guess. But not really.
But in reality, real gamer stories are more inspiring than anything else.
Right, and some of the biggest communities out there are on video games. Things like World of Warcraft, Minecraft, that's huge. League of Legends, Animal Crossing even recently blew up.
Watch the Smash doc?
The Smash doc?
Yes, the Smash documentary for the entire history of Melee.
Oh yes.
I have.
It's one of the best things on YouTube. If any of you are interested in Smash Bros. Ultimate and some of the players, watch.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description.
It's so good. It's so good.
Sponsor.
The amount of yo.
Hey.
Yo, this whole variety virus.
We need some school funding,
Yeah.
And then,
Nintendo, please.
another.
They're gonna sponsor our Smash tournament.
No, dude, yeah, I did. I've watched that video though. That video is so cool, dude. Just learning about all the backstories, And I was watching another video the other day on Mewtwo King actually.
Yeah, Mewtwo King is a legend in that community.
Isn't he Brawl's best player?
He at one point he was
Brawl and Melee.
Yeah.
and Project M.
Wow.
He was number
The guy was
one
a
in
legend.
all 3 games at one point in his career.
Good lord.
He's legitimately
He good.
He's a very good example of how video games can actually be inspirational to people. I mean, I was watching the documentary and Zero's comments on him, and it was Mewtwo King did a reaction video to what Zero said, and it was Mewtwo King at the time, when he was first getting into Melee, was lost. He was in college. He didn't really know what he wanted to do. But video games brought him a new path into it because he was getting famous in Melee, and he realized, wow, I'm good at this game. If I dedicate myself some more, I can really turn this into something I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like video games, offer us those opportunities, especially with esports. Maybe not right now because with all this coronavirus stuff, but esports is big. League of Legends, they have $1 million prize pool. Call of Duty, I know Call of Duty had a large esports community.
Right, even Fortnite, that's the big one I was talking about. All the
Yeah.
money
Or
there.
even right now with the Smash tubers that are doing the online tournaments, they're trying to keep that competitive esportness alive.
Right,
You know?
the Moist Invitational. That's one that I always
And
think about.
that is one of the biggest, like, even real Smash tournaments didn't have that big of a money turnout for the
Yeah.
prizes.
20K, 4,000 people, like it was something big.
That's a big event and a big chance for someone to make their name out there, you know?
Exactly, and I got destroyed. I competed, I did horribly.
I'm sad I didn't. But I should.
But these communities, man, it's just like
Right.
they could really build into something monumental and something that can be inspiring, and it's honestly what I want to do with Game Club. Like,
Yeah.
like
Honestly, I think it's kind of what inspired us to make Game Club.
Honestly, the Smash Doc is a big inspiration because Game Club for me at the very, very, very start was to get the Smash tournament going. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
That was my whole goal, and we made it. And now there's so many other possibilities. It's like it's really exciting. And thank you guys for watching these podcasts. And like, I don't know why you do this terrible, but
I mean, on our second podcast, we got 100 views.
You.
So like, that's a good start.
It gives us hope that the things that we aspire to can actually, become something real.
Right. And something to do in our spare time because a lot of that stuff now.
Yeah. So this should be a message to everyone out there. Like this time may seem like dreary, but it's the time to do something. Like
especially in gaming.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much time, and just go for what you aspire to do, because you'll be surprised when the universe actually gives some positive feedback.
Yeah. And now is definitely the time to do it. I was reading a motivational post, and it was like, if you don't come out of this quarantine with new skills, learning something new, then it wasn't that you didn't have time, it's that you chose not to use it wisely.
Right.
I mean, some people are going through stuff, but we have so much time to do stuff, try to get good at things.
Get good, kid.
Exactly.
I mean, it's incredible, the time we have right now, what people can do online, and it's a high stretch goal, but it's definitely a goal for Game Club to become that sort of level of dedicated and hardworking to become one of these communities, and it'd be nice, very nice.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be hard because, listen, we're sore students, we're lethargic. We wait till the very last minute. This really takes some dedication. So,
it's in our nature.
Your feedback makes that dedication more and more viable for us instead of doing the usual sore thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, dude, I used to think about it. As a child, I wanted to be a YouTuber because who is it? I would watch Sky Does Minecraft.
Oh, man.
Big Minecraft YouTuber. I remember I used to watch his Cops and Robber videos with
he was the YouTuber.
And Deadlocks. And I was like, oh my god, dude, that's so fun. Like, he's having so much fun, and that's his job. I would want to do that, to just be paid to play a game, have fun, and be able to play with my friends.
Right. One thing while on this topic, who are your favorite YouTubers? You guys.
Sky Does Minecraft.
Right now, I've been watching a lot of Zero.
Yeah, for Smash stuff, it's definitely been Zero-centric. But I've been more watching Twitch streams of a few streamers that I like to watch.
Which ones?
Who was?
I've been watching this guy named Ludwig. Very funny. He's part of the Smash. He did commentary for pools and a lot of tournaments, but he's more of a general streamer, and he's short, so.
It's more of a Carson type.
No, he's a little different. He's more all about the content. He's always making the show, and it's not like he's faking anything. He's not being genuine, but he's always trying to make the stream good.
Right.
While Carson, I feel like he's just Carson. He just shows up, and then people make a YouTube video about him.
Honestly.
He's so chaotic.
He's one of my favorite YouTubers because I see him all the time on different YouTubers, like
Exactly.
different videos that aren't his. It's kind of
He
funny.
just appears, you know. It's like, oh, here he is. It's Carson time.
Yeah.
I mean, like for me, gaming wise, like I have probably Alpharad, one of the big ones that I watch a lot.
Oh yeah, I've been watching Alfred, but he hasn't been posting as much. So
Yeah, I don't know. I
mean,
think
he
the
has
one
this
thing
music thing going.
is that his like
Oh,
his he can get kind of cocky sometimes, and it's like okay. I think
well, I like it because he gets punished for it a lot.
right. Yeah, Alpharad, Touch a Bit Gaming, he's a speedrunner. I very much enjoy his channel. Who else?
Every once in a while, I'll watch a little Z video.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh my god, dude. No, did you see his video right now? Oh my god, it was so funny. These YouTubers actually getting creative, you know, like they're stuck at home. They're just doing whatever to put out content for their viewers in this time of crisis. It's funny, you know, like Little Z's video that I recently watched was probably one of his funniest videos, and I'm like, oh my god. This man said for every match or every start that I lose, I'll wax a part of my chest.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I looked at that one. I was like, I'm gonna watch this eventually, and then I went and did stuff and never watched that one. So
It was one of the funniest videos. He got waxed about 10 times.
There was one video where he played Incineroar, and for every time he lost, he had to go watch the movie Cats.
No.
And he ended up watching it like 5 times.
That's true agony, dude.
But yeah, dude, I think that YouTubers, like my favorite YouTuber personally right now probably has to be. Honestly, I watch a lot of old content. I don't always keep up with new content, so I always just watch Minecraft stuff. But once in a while, you know, I'll watch esports videos. I'll watch Siege. I'll watch YouTubers, you know, like Summit1G, CS:GO YouTubers.
Right.
And I think it's interesting to see how these guys adapt to the situation where they technically still have a job because most of them work from home as YouTubers. And in a sort of way, these YouTubers find a way to talk to their communities, stay in touch with them during these times, and help them out.
Yeah. I think for me, like my favorite YouTubers have to be probably Doug DeMuro. I love Doug DeMuro. He's a car reviewer YouTuber. It sounds weird, but like he's so incredibly awkward and uncomfortable to hear. Like, you love it. Like, I don't even like cars like that, but he's just so like mentally gone. It's great. Michael Reeves, Gus Johnson.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of the Gus and Eddie podcast.
Yeah, Scott DeWaz. I love Scott DeWaz.
Oh, dude, Scott DeWaz is such a gem.
He's such a
Scott
gem.
here.
Jack's
YouTuber
Films.
that I've been rewatching, but he doesn't post a lot, is Nakey Jake.
Oh, Nikki Jakey. Him and Eddie Burback are, oh my god, golden.
They just need to post more.
You
hear that? I know you're not watching, but if you are,
just maybe.
now get off your ass, please.
Stop
Serve
watching.
to us. Don't have a life. Become a YouTuber. Come on.
It actually lives life, dude.
We don't want you to have personal satisfaction. Serve to us, please.
That's your job.
That's your job as a YouTuber.
Who else? Tirzu, Salmonella Academy, Summoning Salt, Vsauce. Oh man.
Oh yes.
Wysack. That's another fun one.
Leafy.
Leafy.
Leafy. It's been such a long time.
Man, I got.
Okay, I gotta lie. I'm not gonna lie. His comeback video is kind of like
Yeah.
like he didn't even buy the pro version of the program he was using. He still had the watermark. Come on, my guy. You come back and then you say something for 30 seconds and there's a watermark. Come on, dude.
Oh.
You were a professional YouTuber at one point. Some people respected you. Come on, guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gotta hurt.
I know I've been watching a lot of Rocket League YouTubers, but I'm pretty sure nobody else does.
So
So
who are some Rocket League YouTubers? I really don't know.
I've been
there's
watching. Go ahead.
sorry, there's Sunless Khan, Flump,
Flump.
and there's John Sandman.
Oh, John Sandman is a funny one, dude.
Flump.
The
I've been
classics.
watching a lot of the IGN speedrunner. The devs watch the speedrunner
Mm-hmm.
do the best.
I've seen a few of
score.
those.
It's kind of funny how some of them are like, "Oh wow, I didn't know you could do that," and someone's like, "Look at this dude, just exposing us like this. He just broke our game." How dare
Dude,
he?"
no, I find it so funny in all these speed runs that half of the time when the devs watches, they're freaking out because there's always a new glitch that they use to get past something. I remember watching a Mario 64 speed run, and a dev was watching, and this guy just jumped off, he jumped off a wall that was supposed to be outside a barrier, but he just went through it, and the dev was like, "What is wrong with our game?"
No, yeah, I kind of feel bad. Some of the devs actually just feel bad afterwards. They're like,
Oh,
I
That's
made
a
a broken
mistake.
game.
well, I think it's like the broken things that make a good speedrunning game. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
definitely.
Sunshine is a great game to speedrun because it has so many little tiny errors that you can exploit.
Oh, and just Mario 64 too. Like all
Oh,
the Mario
yeah.
games, really.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
seeing
they're
the
perfect
runs of that.
speedrunning games.
Oh my god,
Oh, have you guys ever seen Portal speedruns?
that sounds
No, I
so
haven't.
chaotic.
There's speedruns where they don't even use the portal gun.
What?
Like they literally glitch through the whole game.
Jesus,
How it's done, man.
I might have to find one of those.
It's kind of amazing, honestly.
Yeah, because like for me, the big person I know is Andrew G. He's a very famous runner for Mario games. For a while, he held the record for original Mario, Mario 2, Mario 3, 64, and some other Mario game. But like he was like the Mario runner, and he quit. But he had a run recently where he did 4 Mario games in under an hour, and he beat all of them in under an hour. And it was kind of ridiculous. He's a very good runner that I really enjoy.
Who are speedrunning YouTubers? I only watched like a compilation video, but I don't necessarily remember.
I was about to say Clint Stevens. Yeah, Clint Stevens is funny.
He's
like
just
one
so
of the,
funny. Like,
and he's one of those YouTubers that you love to watch to make fun. Like,
exactly. He's like
Like-
Carson.
or
Except we love
Ludwig.
Carson.
Ludwig is the same way, and yeah. Yeah, it's been a minute since you had one of those, huh?
38, 32. All right.
What's our time at?
See, every time before I say it's the cut, you should just add like the.
But
like, the
I
TV
prep for
service,
it.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, TV
It's
service
like
cutout
maybe just
sound.
maybe. One YouTuber, I know a couple of runners that I watch a lot. Like Summoning Salt, Tetrabit. That are more focused on like Mario games, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, which you love that game, Daniel. Like
Punch Out's amazing, dude.
it's such a good. It's so balanced and hard, and balanced and really hard and really 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 hard. I still haven't beaten
I actually
Macho
think it's
Man.
one of the easier NES games because the NES is a one hell of a like.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, Punch Out is not that hard compared to other things because, like, once you have the patterns down, everyone is readable.
Right.
You know.
But I think like preparing, like the process of getting up to that point is painful. It took me at least an hour to figure out how to beat King Hippo.
Well, maybe just because I've been playing longer and like I knew like most of the run throughs I play now is I know what to do,
Right.
and it makes it a lot more fun, honestly. Like.
Yeah, I go in blind for
if
games.
you know what to do in the game,
Christ.
That's called hacking.
Well, not with that attitude, Ben.
but yeah,
No.
it's just oh god, I love that. That game's so satisfying to speedrun too. Like I've never been able to get a good PR, you know,
Mhm.
but it's still so fun. Like
It is fun to beat up Glass Joe over and over again.
oh yes,
It's the best thing in
my
the game.
my favorite part of the speedrun is giving up because I felt like I did too bad.
Thanks, Piss and Honda.
Don't even. I'm on him right now, actually.
Are you really?
Yeah.
God, I hate his piston punches. Always get me every time. I can't get past them. I'm bad at the
me
timing.
too.
Honestly, talking about speedruns, I want to speedrun Minecraft one of these days. I played it for
Oh, we should
years
all
and I've
do it.
never do.
I'd be down for a Minecraft
We
run.
should, I feel like for a video, we should all speedrun against each other, like in the same
That'd be
world,
so fun.
and then just like all of us go in our own ways, and then yeah.
I'll see who beats
all
it
it is
first.
is finding lava first.
Right.
Yeah.
Lava and the M portal are the two big things you gotta find.
See, I was gonna say we could all race each other, like we could just be in separate worlds, but I think that would actually work.
Yeah, like
If you're in the same world, I think it'd be cool because if like two people were like chasing towards the end at the same time, it would be like
who gets to kill first, right?
Realistically,
Yeah.
it's just how many Endermen can you find, and
Can you find the desert, really fast?
And once you get to the end, you have to have a 1v1 with the other guy.
Exactly. Who can fight the dragon?
Or we should have one team trying to beat the game, and then the other team trying to stop them from beating the game.
Oh, like those? Have you seen those videos?
Yeah, exactly. We just need to steal content from other people, and then we'll become
Exactly.
popular.
That's how you YouTube, dude.
At least that's what YouTube tells me.
It's on 90% of the.
I caught a sea bass. No, it's at least a C+. Very cool animal.
Don't take other people's content and ideas. You can't make money.
But the point is to do it better. And if you're just staring at a screen laughing, I don't know how much better you can do.
Well, that's what offline TV does, and I get money, so.
Try not to laugh. Lima challenge. Basically, we all just watch Lima videos.
Oh my
Unless you're
god, dude, that's
PewDiePie,
impossible.
You can't do try not to laugh.
Yeah, I would laugh at everything. I laugh
Yeah,
at the dumbest stuff.
he
man.
he laughs at, like, I can sneeze, no cry.
Yeah.
Unless you want to bet something for it.
I
Like,
will
that,
bet.
that would be
Can we gamble? Was gambling allowed in the club setting?
I will.
The loser has to buy me Animal Crossing.
Not like money, like,
Yes.
oh, you have to give me your
The
whole
loser
$1,000,
has to
like,
buy
no.
either Ben or me Animal Crossing. I'm good with that.
$120?
You know what? I still don't have DLC on Smash.
You
So
don't
guys-
have DLC
I
on Smash.
Don't? I only have 2 characters. in the
Alright.
box.
You only have Joker and
You only
who
have
else?
Joker and yeah.
Joker and Violet.
Yeah.
I mean, Violet's kind of cool though. And I still play her sometimes.
I
the rest of the
like- I
DLC
like
kinda
Violet.
forgot about, but I still play Violet every once in a while.
Banjo's my favorite.
Joker's just fun
broken.
too.
I'm Terry Boy.
Ba- Banjo's my favorite just because I was like, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I wanted him in since.
Man,
Season
I-
reveal was
I wanted
amazing.
him
Dude.
in since Brawl.
I should probably play the original game. I haven't played it yet. I've heard
Oh, dude, it's so fun.
incredible things. Yeah.
It's honestly the original Mario Odyssey. Like, just because they did the system of like, because Mario 64, you get 1 star, you get booted out.
Right.
But in Mario Odyssey, you can get as many of the moons as you want, you
Mhm.
know, before you have to leave, and that's how it is in Banjo, which is so much better.
Oh. I did not know it was that kind of game at all. So
Yeah,
that shows my level of knowledge.
and you collect jiggies and eggs, and there's one guy that goes "Ooh-ba-laka." He's great.
They all make weird noises. Let's be real.
What are the best campaign or best stories that you guys just played in any game in general?
Hands down, Lego Batman 2 for the PS3.
Yes.
God damn.
Dude, Lego Batman was amazing.
Dude, all the DC heroes united.
Oh yes, the one on
Built
yes.
It was amazing.
I remember that. Dude,
Well,
I
that
loved
was
all the Lego games when I was
As a person who
Star
hasn't
Wars,
played,
Indiana Jones.
as a person who hasn't played the Lego games, I will say probably Halo Reach for me. Cause oh man,
Legitimately, I think like one of the Sony games, like God, so hard. Last of Us
oh yes.
or God of War is really good, but it wasn't as it's not as hyped as everyone thinks, at least in my opinion.
I've heard good things from it.
But Sony makes good story games, like the Nathan Drake, the Uncharted series. Oh my God, like
Oh yeah.
it's so good. It's so good. I mean, Like a lot of people are like, oh, you should just watch it instead of play it, but that's like the whole point is that you get to be a part of it.
Right.
So
Dude, yeah. See, I gotta put in a word for Nintendo real quick. Nintendo, please sponsor this video. Thank you.
We haven't really like.
Basically, I think Super Smash Bros. Brawl had a very good
Mm.
campaign.
no,
Self-based
it
endless
didn't have a good story though. It had an amazing campaign, but you can't say that story was good.
It was just, I think it was just seeing the
It was just pure
cutscenes.
fan service. That's all it was.
Heck
The best
yeah.
scene is when Kirby comes in, riding in on the dragon,
Oh yes, dude.
and just takes out Ganondorf and Bowser's ship. That part was amazing.
Yeah, I think for me, the best part of Subspace was when they reach the end of the game and they're fighting Taboo, and all of a sudden Sonic appears out of nowhere.
I have to admit, dude, that was such a big plot hole. I don't get how
He
got in
just showed up,
He-
and
he's
I
just-
laughed.
He's been working with Taboo the whole time.
And I didn't understand much
Sonic is
either.
the real enemy of subspace.
I think it was a good campaign. I just didn't understand some parts, like the part where Master Hand being controlled by Taboo. I didn't really get that part.
It's more about imagery and
Watch MatPat's video on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
Nintendo's games are less about story and more about like
gameplay.
Just- yeah.
And the Subspace Emissary, like, the main goal was definitely just fan service.
Like the only
Yeah.
Nintendo game that has plot is probably Galaxy and Rosalina.
I was like, wouldn't it
Yeah.
be funny if you saw a serious campaign with Snake and Diddy Kong in the same picture? Let's do it.
We have to go in there, and he's fucking shrieks his name, you know.
Dude, the Pokemon games.
There's the objective.
Dude, Pokemon games have horrible stories. Let's be real.
Either it's like, oh my god, this is the best story ever, black and white, or it's just,
Or it's Gen 3, yeah.
Yeah, I
or
think
it's Sword and Shield. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Pearl.
Sword and Shield. Is
Yeah, what was Sword and
story.
Shield's story? I literally
There was
don't remember
no
it anymore.
It
Defeat
was-
Um,
bad
you were-
guys.
You
it was
get
that
you
were-
get
were
Rabbit.
Scottish. You were a sassy Scottish lady. That's all.
Honestly, yeah.
I think that's enough, to
That's
be
just,
honest.
that's just the head
That's
canon
enough.
that ever made.
The old games, the OGs had good stories, like Red.
I think they were okay.
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
Red
No,
actually
yeah,
had a
not
good
Red.
story.
They got the
Actually
job
had a
done,
decent story.
you know.
I think they stepped it up in Gold and Silver, but like
Mhm.
still it's
yeah.
not that much.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
they definitely peaked at black and white. I think.
yeah, I enjoyed Hoen's
Yeah.
story, but I hated how like if you ask like what's the reason behind the teams, it's like we want more land, we want
No.
more sea. Why? Because land bad.
Just because.
Or you do something like X and Y, where it's just like, oh yeah,
I
I'm
want
a
to end the
regular
world.
trainer and I'm doing regular things, and then all of a sudden it was like the mass destruction of with this one machine. Like
Exactly.
they literally had a weapon of mass destruction. It was
Yeah.
Although all the hidden lore like about X and Y I really liked because it's like
Yeah.
a war, a Pokemon, what?
No, yeah, the war. What the hell is this special Floette AZ? Who?
Exactly.
What was Lieutenant Sarge talking about when he said the Great Pokemon War?
And then what was the one guy? Remember in Alpha?
Sapphire?
Ruby and Omega.
Oris, yeah.
How did it go? I forget.
Yeah, it's Alpha Sapphire.
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, yeah.
Whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. But like, it was one of the characters from X and Y. It was like the Looker or something. And
Oh, yeah,
he just,
Looker.
he just showed up for no reason.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's like,
no
what the
They
hell?
throw him in like almost every game now for no reason.
What? Yeah, I was like, what? Why is he significant? I don't know.
Yeah, I
He
very
was in
much
Sun and Moon,
enjoyed.
He was in X and Y.
I liked Omega Ruby to be
Yeah, like the
honest.
extra arc with
Omega
Xena.
Ruby is one of the best modern Pokemon games.
God.
Yes.
Just because it was an old game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they did a really good remake, including like I love the traveling legendary part.
Yeah,
where you would
dude,
go
the
fly in
flying
sky
feature
and
was
you
awesome.
See a portal.
Yeah,
mhm.
out of all like the systems of like, oh, you get an extra Z move, or oh, you get to turn giant now. I think Mega Evolution was like the best version of that
Yeah.
that we had.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Gigantamax and Gigantamax form is kind of BS.
It just looks funny.
It's just Mega Evolution again. It's like,
Yeah.
why don't you just bring back Mega Evolutions and expand on it? Instead of
Exactly.
like, we have to make something new.
and
Yeah,
I will
I feel
always.
like they didn't even have to make something new because they had Z moves from the last gen.
Right.
So it's not like it was something.
Z-Moves is alright, but I just
It was an
missed-
interesting
missed
concept.
Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, and like
I thought after X and Y and Omega Ruby and Sapphire, it was like, oh, these are gonna just be staples now.
that's what I was
But
thinking
no.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Especially
do
when they
like.
did Oras and they added them.
I like the
They
idea.
added more, yes, dude. Mega Salamence and like
Oh my god, dude,
Mega
that's so
Rayquaza,
hot.
dude.
Mega Rayquaza, God.
And then they did do a weird thing where it's like, oh yeah, these are primal Groudon.
Yeah.
I like the primal.
It's like
I was okay with that.
just call them just Mega. It's just,
Yeah. Because it's not primal Rayquaza, it's just Mega Rayquaza. Which, like, okay. Yeah, but
Have you guys if we're talking about like Pokemon and story, have you guys seen Pokemon Origins?
Oh,
Yes.
dude, that's one of the best.
God
I
bless.
haven't, actually.
It's a free online series on YouTube, like covering the story of the protagonist and not of like Ash, and it's gorgeous.
Red.
It's fantastic.
It's actually a genuinely good anime. Like,
Yeah, it's only 18
and
episodes.
It's
They're like
still,
5 minutes each.
kid friendly, but they do take more of a like anime.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the Mewtwo
feels more
fight.
like anime.
Dude, the Mewtwo fight.
Oh,
my
yeah.
god, the Mewtwo fight.
They almost killed
I loved
Giovanni.
the soundtrack from it too, because they remixed all the original stuff and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I think recently they took it off YouTube.
No,
So
they
you have to
didn't.
pay
It
for
didn't.
now.
I watched it in the morning actually. Like,
You did?
Yeah. Like in the morning I was making breakfast. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Pokemon Origins.
I'm gonna go do that.
And then
first.
Pokemon Generations too. That's another one.
That's actually they're
Oh,
shorter, but
yeah.
they're just as good. Like to be honest.
Yeah, like that.
But
Those
it's
are.
like the rest of the series too. Like it's the
Yeah, like it just
all the
covers the
games.
plot, and it makes me so happy because I hate Ash so much.
Exactly.
It makes me like, it makes me want Nintendo to back off Game Freak and give them like 5 years to develop a game.
Like an actual game.
For the Switch.
Mhm.
Yeah, like separate themselves from the handheld games and just make something new.
Honestly, I think it would well, if they did like a couple years, maybe 3 or 4 years, and they don't even have to release a game every year. Like maybe like release like 1 or 2 games, where it's just like a remake of a different game.
I think,
And it's just
yeah,
adaptation
exactly.
for the Switch.
Dude, we need to
I think,
remake
yeah,
the
it should
Sinnoh
be
region.
5 years.
God,
5
you
years
are a
of
Sinnoh
adaptation
stand, aren't
for
you?
a main game and then a few, remakes. in
The
the middle.
Sinnoh, I feel like the
Sinnoh
Sinnoh
stands, I'm
region is
telling
such
you.
a good region.
It deserves
We
it.
need a
needs it.
remake. It really does deserve a, like, honestly, what Pokemon games haven't gotten a remake yet?
But no, they're
Sinnoh,
they're
that's
like,
literally it.
they're like, hey boys, you want red and blue again?
Exactly.
But we're gonna say let's go.
Yeah, I
Man.
feel like Let's Go was less.
What
like,
even was
It
Let's
was
Go?
more like Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, it didn't really
And-
feel like a remake. It just felt weird.
It was a kiddie version. It was the
Yeah.
Playmobil version of Pokemon.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I think at this point though, Nintendo's focusing more on expansion packs rather than developing
yeah.
more Pokemon games. It's
That's-
really
that-
dumb how it's become because
Well, that's only because like you could tell from Sword and Shield that they didn't have nearly as much time as they want to. You know,
Yeah,
Like-
it just
like-
felt incomplete.
like Sword and Shield was probably a 3DS game that they just pushed over to the Switch. You
That's
know?
mean, but it's true.
Honestly, a lot of the landscapes remind me of they're like very more advanced versions of landscapes in Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it is definitely a 3DS game, and now they're actually taking the time to do the DLC how they would want to do an actual, main console game with more wild areas being the whole map instead of just one little wild area in the middle.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I hate the wild area so much. Oh my god.
Dude, I was so pumped for the wild area, and then I got to it, and it was like I was done with it in an hour. I was like,
Like
wait,
I
that's
am
it?
bored. I no longer care. You know.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this is one of the most grindiest Pokemons if you want like good Pokemon.
Yeah, man.
Not really.
No.
I
it's
think
easy.
so.
It's the easiest.
The candies, the level up candy is so easy.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I think it's like
If you just sit there and do raids, it's one of the
Yeah.
easiest games.
for me it
And
was
in the battle
easy.
tower, you can get you can get nature changers, you can get like the mints or whatever. I don't even know exactly what they're called. You can get stuff that like maxes out your IVs, even if it's like, because normally like you breed a Pokemon and that's its IVs, but now it's just
But no, you can get any Pokemon.
Yeah, you can make any Pokemon viable now. So I mean, it's good for competitive players, but like
yeah, I think it's good that they do that, but like they need to make the actual campaign something worth playing. Like, if you're not gonna have a story, then make it fun to play instead of boring.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask, how this new expansion pack is gonna affect competitive play, because the thing is, new legendaries are included in these expansion. You're basically paying for them and paying for new Pokemon.
Well, all the Pokemon will be available regardless if you have the DLC or not.
Yeah, you would be able to trade them.
Yeah, you won't be able to like go out and catch them because they're in the other region,
Right. You have to pay for Pokemon Home.
Somehow get them.
Yeah, you gotta pay for Pokemon Home.
It is definitely gonna change the competitive scene because they're reintroducing a whole bunch of Pokemon. Like, presumably through these 2 packs, they're gonna have every Pokemon release, right?
Yeah.
So like, it is kind of scummy, not gonna lie.
I'm not sure if they're actually doing all of them. It feels weird. Like, it's not Pokemon anymore.
They should have waited for we should have pushed till this year, realize it's coronavirus, and then push it to next year. Like, honestly, I would much rather have that than having the unsatisfying Pokemon game that we have now.
Right.
Because I feel like everyone just says it's not as good as it was, as it should be. And I feel like it had a lot of potential, but it's just
it just feels incomplete. It feels like this is what like they should have shown like the people supporting, like, to get them on their side, not the whole experience.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. And they're gonna introduce 200 Pokemon with expansion packs, dude. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's not even all the Pokemon.
It's scummy because it was like, oh, we have to work on different models, but clearly they're not different models.
Like, you have the models still,
And
every other game.
Models just updated, like it's not.
They're not even updated that much.
Like,
maybe more polygons, but.
Doing some research on it, actually, the expansion pack, I think this is actually really terrible. I mean, it's good. It's the good value for the expansion pack, I guess. So the thing that they were doing for Pokemon, what is it, Omega Ruby, with the flying around, it says legendaries from previous games will be catchable in the Frozen Tundra's special dens, and it lists off about 30 legendaries.
Yeah.
So they're basically doing what they're doing in Omega Ruby, but you have to pay for it.
But they're paying more. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting.
They're doing it because I don't want to blame Game Freak, because everything that they've shown with the DLC, I could see it like, oh, that's like where they wanted the game to go, but Nintendo wanted it to be out by the time that it was, and I mean, I guess they succeeded because it still sold like hotcakes.
Oh yeah.
It was a Pokemon game, so
for the Switch,
a main console, a whole console Pokemon game. That's nutty.
I kind of want to get Mystery Dungeon.
I've heard good things.
Because they made the new one, and I kind of want to see what it's like. Because I played the crap out of the original Mystery Dungeons.
It has a fast forward button.
It has a fast forward button. God bless.
You don't even need to get an emulator.
You can just boom. All right, guys. Well, see you later.
Wait, what?
We're already we're just past an hour.
Oh my.
Oh really? Already?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
You've heard our whole rant on Pokemon and why we think it's trash. No, I'm kidding.
Pokemon bad, Smash good. All right, boys.
The modern Pokemon games are so funny. Like, have you seen Pokemon Team Rocket? You're literally like you're in a city as a Pokemon where people rob each other for a living.
That's life, dude.
Sounds like life.
No, it's honestly like it's like literally one. You walk in your home. You're burrowed underground and you use a ladder to get up. And when you get up, one of the people say to you, "Why is a hobo coming out of the ladder?"
Ha. All right,
Almost as
guys.
funny.
Time to go. It's already been an hour. Adios, people. We'll see you next week. We're gonna have a special guest next week. I won't say who it is because it's not confirmed yet. But adios.
We should say
Thank you for joining the podcast. If you have any ideas for what we could do, please comment. Please get our thing going through the algorithm because
We're out of ideas.
if we're ever gonna make,
Are we though? I don't know if we are.
if we ever gonna make it into something, we need you guys.
make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, honestly, God, I hated that.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I don't look like the bad guy.
Yeah,
At this.
like, comment, and subscribe. All right.
Thank you guys. Also, we have a Twitch. Make sure to pop in. It's just called Sword Game Club. No caps, nothing. Just Sword Game Club. We have our logo. Yeah, make sure to check it out.
Make
yeah,
sure to
remember
go
to
to
sign up
raycon.com.
Oh my god.
raycon.com/. All right, see you guys later.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Guys.